Sometimes what you'll see with ads is things just shift on a monthly basis, but we want to drill in and find out why that shift happened for that specific campaign. So if we look down at the bottom left, we see a scatter plot for search keywords, and then in the middle at the bottom we see search terms. So you might have a keyword of wristbands and the search terms come up as Tyvek wristbands, plastic wristbands, vinyl wristbands, etc. Right? It kind of has that match where it kind of, if you're using phrase match and broad match, it gets a little more broad on the type of search terms that come in. But these scatter plots do some excellent visualization for us. So we can see in the left one, in the very top hand left hand corner, we can see a keyword that is very high cost per conversion on the y-axis, but you're not spending a ton of money on it. In real time, if we're looking at this dashboard, we could hover over it and see the name. But then we see one in the far right, we see one that's very strong cost per conversion. It looks around $100, but in this chart, and it's spending quite a bit of the budget. So now we know that one's a strong performing keyword, and we might want to replicate more keywords like it. We maybe want to say, hey, we need more SEO pages targeted from this because it's a very valuable keyword. Now, if we look at the search term report, we see two terms in the top right area of the scatter plot. Those are high cost and high cost per conversion search terms. We likely want to negative these out, right? We want to take action on these. These are very costly, not effective keywords. So that's where we can utilize this, in this visualization makes it very easy to pick out things and changes that we can make. And if you look at the far right, it's broken up by match type. So you can see phrase match and you see broad match. There's no exact match within this account at the time. And you can see the cost, and then you can see the average cost of sale. So ACOS is average cost of sale. But from this, we can see broad match, much higher ACOS than the phrase match, but it's not spending much. The cost is really low. So it's probably skewed data. What this tells me here is we probably need to test more broad match. We're relying too much on phrase match, and we want to see if we can test and experiment over time to broad match, which oftentimes tends to be more effective, but not always. That's why we want to look at data to understand what's going on. So how do you build a successful dashboard? So the first thing is the first step we talked about. We need to define those objectives, right? We get those business goals, and then we define the objectives, and then we can build a dashboard that represents those objectives, the different areas of marketing, maybe digital marketing that you're doing, and how they're impacting, and if they're successful, if they're not successful. Understand the KPIs needed. So you need to understand all the metrics that need to be within the report. If you're very high level in the business, they probably want a much smaller report so they can tell within 5 or 6 metrics if there's issues that need to be further dug into. And maybe you want that as well for you to dig into that. But if you're more like me, who's working day to day and things, you probably want more KPIs within the report because you understand how they all work together and you can drill in much quicker when you see them. And you need to determine your data sources. So the cool thing you can do with dashboards is you can pull in data from all kinds of different things, especially when you utilize a tool like Google Looker Studio. So with a lot of clients, we have Google Ads data, we have Google Analytics, GA4 data, we have SEMrush data. These are all different data sources. We have CRM, so Salesforce, Sage CRM, HubSpot CRM, whatever your CRM is. We can pull data into there. We can make one report that has all these data sources that you can start to report on and see how is your web traffic performing or how is your actual sales performing. And you only want to include data that tells you if you achieved your objective, right? We want to know, did we achieve what we're trying to do? Because it tells us where we need to drill in. And if you put too much data within a dashboard, there's a term for it. It's called data puke, where people look at it and they don't take much out of it because there's just so much on the screen. They just can't look at it all. It kind of overwhelms them, right? You want to keep it simple. You want it to be a strong data visualization that tells a story and shows actionable insights. Kind of what we talked about before with the search terms. We had very actionable insights we could take based on that specific report.